Hello, everybody. It's Angela with Happy Little Stitch Shop. Happy Thursday to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is Thursday, August 6th, 2020. And again, I'm Angela, and this is Happy Little Stitch Shop live stream that you're tuning into. First off, right off the bat, my kids and I would like to wish Sharon a very happy day late birthday. So happy birthday, Sharon.
Happy birthday, Sharon.
We hope you had a great day yesterday and got to celebrate a little bit in the midst of unusual stuff in the world. So hopefully you had a good birthday. Everybody wanted to give you a shout out when they heard that it was your birthday. So happy birthday, Sharon, right off the bat. How is everybody? How is your week going? How is the first week in August treating you? I can't believe that it is August already. It's insane that we're already in the 8th month of the year. I was sitting down and kind of figuring out what I was going to talk about today. And usually I try to share a story of the week with you guys. And I don't really know that I had a story for this week. The kids went and rolled down the hill. That was kind of exciting last week after the live stream on Thursday. I said, okay, we're getting out of the house. Come on. Everybody's coming with. We're all going together. And the kids, like, sometimes they can kind of complain about that a little bit, but this time nobody complained. And everybody got ready to go, got their shoes on, and we went outside, and near our house, there's a big hill. And my little one she tries to roll down the hill. She really more scoots, like she doesn't really understand rolling yet. But I thought maybe with the other kids there, she would kind of see how other people do it and she might get the idea. So everybody went over and everybody lined up and I said, "On your mark, get set, go." And everybody rolled down the hill. They were laughing at each other. Kids were running into each other. Like, it was so nice to hear that laughing and kind of just goofing around with each other, doing something really, really simple. So, it wasn't like we did anything super fun or special. It was just rolling down the hill. And then we had like wheelbarrow races and bear crawl races up and down the hill. And the kids just laughed and laughed. It was so much fun. A very simple outing, but it provided a lot of much needed kind of relief and some laughter. So it was a lot of fun. So hello, everybody. I see so many people jumping on here. Hello, Judy. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Laura, Debbie, Kim, Jill, Kathy. Hello. Deborah Walsh. Hello. Thanks for jumping on. Kim, good to see you. Oh, Sharon, you saw it. Sometimes I post those things. I don't post those things as part of my Instagram posts because I feel like I try to save that for shop stuff, but sometimes I do post that stuff to stories. I don't share much about like pictures of my family and stuff like that. But every once in a while I'll sneak one onto my stories just to kind of, share a little bit of us with you guys. Kim says, "Happy belated birthday, Sharon." Yes, it is good to be silly sometimes. So that was kind of the fun thing for the week. And then the other cute thing, I was out watering flowers and trees because we just planted some trees this summer. So every evening, my husband and I usually take our little one for a walk. And then when we come back, we water stuff. Well, this particular night was hot. It was hot here. And she started to kind of put her hand in the water. At the beginning of the summer, we got out the hose and the sprinkler, and she was a little scared of it. And so we just kind of haven't really pushed it, thinking she'd do it when she was ready. And so I was out there watering with the hose, and I had a little thing on the end so that it was like a shower. And she reached out and she put her hand in it and she giggled. And I just kind of let her explore it. And next thing you know, her hand's in a little bit farther, and then she's sticking her foot in there. Hi, Huckleberry. Thanks so much for getting on. She's kind of sticking her foot in there. And the next thing you know, she's kind of putting her head in a little bit. Pretty soon she was all in there and her clothes were wet. And then it was hysterical because she'd come out because the water was kind of cold. She'd come out for a bit and then she'd just stick her belly out really far just to have her belly get wet. So that was just cracking me up. She had so much fun. And now she is no longer hesitant to get into the sprinkler or the hose or the water. So she was soaking when we brought her in and got right into her, had a little bath and got right into her pajamas to get ready for bed. But that was kind of fun too, seeing her play in the water. So last week's question for the question of the week was quilting. Do you guys do your own quilting or do you send it out someplace to be quilted? And it was a mixture of answers. A lot of people choose to quilt their own or at least do small projects on their own. But if it gets to be bigger, then oftentimes you send it out. And some of you said, I like to finish the whole thing by myself. And that's kind of how I was. Like, I like the idea of trying to finish an entire quilt. You know, because then I've made the entire thing myself, and I like that. That's kind of how I wanted it to be until the timeout quilt came into existence, and I just struggled with trying to get this through this machine to quilt it. It kept puckering, wasn't working, da 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 da, and now I feel this sense of relief. Plus, time has gotten less. I don't have as much time to kind of work with it like I might typically do. Typically, I might kind of work through the process and really try to get it done. If I tried to do that now, it would just sit here for forever because I wouldn't have time to get to it. And I want to be able to get these things done and enjoy them. So again, last week I shared this. Kim had quilted this for me. It's so nice. And I got the binding on, so I wanted to show you guys. I put the binding on, so that's done. This is a finished quilt. It's washed. It has been loved this week. Oh my gosh, people keep taking it. Like somebody, you know, we settle in for the night and the kids like race to get the quilt so then they can have the quilt for the evening while we watch a show before they go to bed. So each night I see somebody different with the quilt, whoever won the race to be able to get it. So this is a much loved quilt. I'm so happy that it's done. The binding is on, it's washed, it's good to go. And I am so, so thankful that Kim did such a great, that she agreed to quilt it for me and that it's just, she did such a beautiful job with it. And then that prompted me to send out, do you remember the Dear Christmas Retro Ornaments quilt? So that has been sent out to be quilted and it is actually in the mail on the way back to me. So I am super, super excited to get that back. So hopefully I should be able to share that with you guys next week. I have the binding already cut and ready to put on. As soon as it gets back, I want to sit and bind it. I love binding quilts. It was so nice to be able to do that last week. And then hopefully I'll have it hanging back here for you guys to see next week. So I'm excited to share that with you. Hello, Sam. Thank you for getting on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that was really interesting to see your responses from last week. Thank you so much for answering the question and, you know, giving me some information. Okay, and then really quick before we jump into cross stitch, I had a question this morning, shortly before the live stream, and I told her that it would just be easier for me to show it on the live stream and for her to watch, because sometimes all of that stuff is hard to type out and it doesn't make sense when you try to read it. And so sometimes if we have questions that aren't easy, I'm going to direct you to the live stream so that you can see what I'm talking about. So I had a question. One of the customers bought Silver Creek Samplers, the Christmas list, and she is getting ready to start stitching it. And so she had a question about, she's going to be stitching on 16 count Ada, and she had a question about how much fabric she needed. And so this is mine that I started during Mania. So Cindy, here is the answer to your question. You have an 18 by 25 piece of cloth. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a ruler and you're going to want to measure in from the edge about 1.5 inches to 2 inches and measure down from the top 1.5 inches to 2 inches. And where that amount is about where your stitch area is going to start. That doesn't necessarily mean that's where your stitch starts, but that's where your stitch area starts. And then depending on how your pattern is laid out, if your pattern has a border that starts right at the top of your stitch area or within a box or two of the stitch area, then you're good to go starting right around this area. But if your stitch area starts here, but your actual stitch starts over here, then you're going to have to either count or maybe a center start would be better in that situation instead of a corner start. You kind of just have to figure it out depending on what the pattern says. But that'll be where you start your stitch. And then you were worried about cloth size. So I think we decided that you needed, I can't remember what we had said. But what you would do is you would take your stitch count. So on your pattern, it tells you a stitch count. So let's just say your stitch count is 100 stitches wide by 100 stitches high. Okay, so it's 100 wide by 100 high. Then you take that count and you divide it by the count of fabric that you are using. So in your case, you would take 100 divided by 16 and 100 divided by 16, and that gives you the dimensions of your finished size. Just for sake of kind of keeping the math easy, let's say that you were stitching it on a 10 count cloth. So 100 divided by 10 and 100 divided by 10 would be a 10 by 10 piece or stitch size, finished stitch. But then you're going to want to add a little bit more cloth to the edge so that you have enough to wrap around a finishing board for mounting. So you're going to want to add about 3 to 4 inches to each of those dimensions, depending on how comfortable you are with, the space that you need around the outside. So if you add 4 inches to the 10 by 10, it's going to be a 14 by 14 piece of cloth that you're going to want to cut in order to have enough. So in your specific situation, I think that the count was like 7 by 17 or something like that. So if you added 4, it would be like 11 by 21. If you stitch it this way with the length of the cloth going up and down, you should have plenty of space for that on your 16 count Aida. So the 18 by 25 should be plenty of cloth for you to stitch my Christmas list on. The other interesting thing, so if you see the pattern that says it was stitched on 32 count, but you're not comfortable stitching on 32 count, you want to stitch it on 16 count, those dimensions would be the same, because on 32 count, you stitch over 2 squares, and on 16 count, you stitch over 1. So essentially, it's going to work out to be the same amount. And the different counts are how many squares there are per inch. So 10 count would have 10 squares per inch on your fabric. 32 count would have 32 squares per inch on your fabric. So the higher the count, the smaller the holes, if that helps. I hope all of that makes sense. I hope that helps you. That's a long answer to your question, but the gist of it is that put it up and down your cloth, and the stitch will fit this way on your 18 by 25 Aida cloth. You should have plenty. So there you go, Cindy. I hope that helps, and hopefully you'll find us and be able to watch this. I hope I gave you enough information to find us. Okay. Does anybody have anything to say while I was talking about all that? Oh, Kim says she can't wait to see the retro quilt. Thank you. I'm excited too. She sent me a picture and it's so cute. I mean, it just looks so different. Oh, and Kim, the other Kim says the same thing. It looks so different. I wanted to do a pantograph on this one, and so I can't wait to get it in person. I'm really, really excited to see it. Hi, Janet. Thanks for jumping on. Thank you, Huckleberry. I hope that helps people with stitching to figure out the size of your cloth. That formula can be tricky to explain over email, so sometimes it's easier to explain it. You take your stitch width and height, and you divide it by your fabric count, the count of fabric that you're using. And then that will give you your size, and then add 3 to 4 inches to that for the size of cloth that you're going to need. Okay, so let's jump into stitch alongs. How is everybody doing with their stitch alongs? I have seen some people finish some things. I have seen some kind of progress updates. Everybody looks like they're doing a great job. All of your stitches are so inspiring to see. It kind of motivates me to keep plugging away at it. First up, we have Frosty Forest, which is HLSS, Frosty Forest SAL. This month we are working on Snowy Reindeer. And this one should actually go kind of quickly. You know, sometimes those cottages take a little bit longer, but usually these kind of accessory ones go pretty fast. I actually didn't get started on this one this week because I've been working on my Snow Sweet quilt, but I'll share with you quick how Frosty Forest looks so far. So we just have the 2 left. I'm debating about, Kim is doing something different in the middle, and I had kind of had that idea too a while ago because I saw somebody else put a church in the middle and I really, really liked that idea. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I haven't quite made up my mind. Because I would need to find a church that would fit there. And I'm not sure what would fit there. So I need to figure that out. If I'll do the Frosty Forest banner in the middle or if I'm going to change it like Kim is, kind of copy what Kim is doing, and put a church in there. I'm not quite sure. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I'm behind, but I'm enjoying everything. Oh, good, Lynn. Snowy. Oh, Kim says Snowy Deer is super fast. Yeah, I saw that you finished yours this week. It looks so nice. Your stitch looks so good. I can't wait to see what you put in the middle. And I can't believe that next month we're finishing it up. That's crazy. Kim said, or Victoria says, I'm so behind on Jack Frost. That's how I feel about Celebrate. I feel like I'm almost thrown in the towel on Celebrate. I'm just so far behind. Sam says, I love the Frosty Forest. It's so cute. It really is, darling. I'm really glad that we decided to start with that. That's our first ever stitch along, you guys. And I'm so glad that we started with that. It's a super cute stitch. And it makes me very excited to get to some other, Country Cottage Needleworks has so many cute series. I can't believe it. And I can't wait to see this next one that she's coming out with. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm curious to see what it is. But like her gingerbread village is darling. Santa's village is so cute. Gingerbread Village was actually the first one that I wanted to do instead of Frosty Forest, but then I kind of got sold on, I just fell in love with Frosty Forest and it felt like a good winter stitch. But they have so many cute series. Connie says, I love Frosty Forest, so cute. Laura says, finishing up Frosty Deer Part 2 of Welcome to the Forest. Oh, the Forest Deer, yes. Deborah says, started on my Frosty Forest, had a rough start, but am much better now. Skill decay over 30 plus years. It does take a little bit to get back into it. I would agree with that. It's kind of like your eyes have to, that's how I feel even switching between like 16 count and 32 count or like a higher count. I feel like my eyes are, it takes some adjusting to kind of get into that rhythm a little bit. Yeah, so Kim says she's doing the house from Frosty Snowfall by Country Cottage Needleworks in the middle. Not my own idea. I saw someone else's and it was so adorable. Yeah, it was the same thing for me. You and I were sharing those pictures back and forth, and I loved somebody did a church in the middle. I thought that was so darling. Like, I just loved it. And so I can't remember what church they used, but I just have to look at sizes and figure out if the church that I have in mind is the Country Cottage Needleworks Silent Night Church is the one that I have in mind, but I don't know if the sizes will be compatible. So I'll have to figure that out. But I can't wait to see yours. It's going to be so cute. Okay, the next one is HLSS Cottage SAL. This is our Cottage of the Month Stitch Along. And this month we are working on September. So this is September with the apples. It's so cute. And I finished this one this week. So I was excited about that to get one checked off the list. This is September. The apples are darling. Again, I was kind of questioning the two-tone house, but it ends up looking great in the end. I thought, maybe I'm just going to do it all red. I'm not going to do that other color on the front, but I'm always glad that I follow Nikki's colors. She does such a good job of picking out good colors for her stitches. And so I followed the called for DMC and ended up loving it in the end. So cute. Hey, Ren, I'm so glad you jumped on. I think September is my favorite now. I know July was my favorite, I think, before, but September is so cute. And I think it's just going to get cuter. I mean, October is going to be cute. September, I don't know. There's something about apples. I don't know. I end up loving all of the months. They're all just adorable. September is beautiful, says Kelly. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to stitch. And thank you. I'm just the person pulling the needle and thread. The designer she does a great job. I mean, you can't go wrong with Country Cottage Needleworks or Little House Needleworks. They're all so beautiful. Okay, next up we have Farmhouse Christmas. How's Farmhouse Christmas coming for everybody? This month we are working on Pinewood Farm, which looks like this. My kids were very confused by the door. They were like, who lives there? And how can they fit through the front door? I said, well, thankfully it's a stitch. You don't have to worry about anybody fitting through there. They're like, that door is so skinny. I said, yes, it is. So here's mine. I got some work done on it. There it is. I cannot see when I hold these things up. There. So it's right down here, not quite done. Still have some trees and a sign and a wagon or so to add on there. And I have to catch up with my border. I'm hoping that won't take too long to just kind of catch up on. This one is so much fun, you guys. Oh my gosh. I love this one. And I hope that it finishes, you know, the finishing idea that I have, I hope that it works out nicely. And I'm so anxious to see how everybody else finishes it. Does anybody else have their finishing kind of planned out in their head for Farmhouse Christmas? And if so, what are you doing with it? I have an idea planned out and I hope that it works. But I'm so anxious to see what everybody else is doing with yours. That's going to be a fun one to finish. Sharon says, I'm still on Dairy Darlin'. That one's a fun one. And don't worry, you will catch up at some point. Kathy, thank you, Kathy. Okay, the next we have is Truckin' Along. How is Truckin' Along going for you guys? This month we are on August. We're working on that. And guess what? I have September floss and pattern ready to go. Like we received an enormous shipment of floss yesterday. Huge. And so we were able to get caught up on the next couple Truckin' Along floss kits. So I'm really, really excited about that. I already have September and October ready to go. So that's exciting. So we should be on schedule with that for the next couple months. So how is August going for you guys? Are you enjoying it? I'm only stitching 3 of them together. I'm going to frame it. Oh, so you're going to do 3 separate frames. Sonia, is that right? That would be so pretty. Oh my gosh. That's such a good idea. Okay, next up we have Jack Frost. This one is another really, really fun one. And this month we're working on Balsam Fir. And if you guys remember, I turned this one over to my mom to help me keep up with stitching. And I was really far behind, you know, when I turned this over to her, and I was kind of apologizing, like, I'm really sorry, I'm far behind. Don't stress about it. Just take your time. It'll be fine. She's completely caught up. And she's like, what else do you need me to do? What other stitches do you have for me? She's like ready for the next thing. But look how cute this is. I mean, this is on Fabric Flares Cafe au Lait cloth, which I love. Look at that. And I said to her, okay, you got to start thinking about how you want it finished. And she's like, I have no idea. You need to decide that. She wants me to come up with a finishing idea, but she stitched this whole thing. So this is going to stay with her. And maybe someday I'll stitch it up for myself. I mean, the only thing she didn't stitch was this, but she should take this and enjoy it because she loves it so much. So I'm going to have to figure out a finishing plan for her for this one. But she just cranked right through that and got completely caught up. And she's loving it. So I gave her the 4th of July tiered tray. She's kind of plugging away at that. But I think I messed something up and then she had to rip something out. She called me and she's like, this is not right. I was like, okay, that happens. She said, I have to rip it out. Is that okay? I was like, yes, absolutely. Do whatever you have to do. Sharon says, yay, Mom, it's beautiful. Sonia says, very pretty. A wall hanging would be beautiful. It would be. So I'm trying to come up with like, you know, kind of a fun way of finishing it, not just putting it in a frame, but doing something a little bit different. I have kind of an idea, but I don't know if it's possible because it would require me to find like the perfect piece to finish it on. Exactly what I have in my mind. And oftentimes that doesn't work out. So we'll see about that. And then we have Welcome to the Forest. And this month we're working on Forest Raccoon and Friends. And this one is adorable with that raccoon and that owl. How is everybody doing with Welcome to the Forest? I've seen some updates and it looks like people are enjoying it. So I hope that that is going well for everyone. Why did I pull two of those? And then we have Celebrate Summer. This is the one we're working on this month. Oh, I wish that Claire was not there. It's just beautiful. Kayla, if you are out there, have you started it? Kayla was so excited to stitch that mermaid. So I would love to see how this is turning out for you guys. So please share updates and use the hashtag HLSS Celebrate SAL and let me know how it is going, because I am not sure that I'm going to be able to start it anytime soon. Kelly says, I think I'm going to make a pillow with red and green flannel plaid ruffles. Ooh, oh, for your Farmhouse Christmas. Oh, I can't wait to see it. My mom loves pillows. My gosh, that would be a good idea. Walmart has these large square framed shiplap that hangs with twine. So if I can find a sticky board big enough, I want to mount both Farmhouse and Frosty on them. Oh, that will be so pretty. I can't wait to see these finishes come together, and they'll be done in time to enjoy them for the holidays, which is, you know, fabulous that it'll be done in time. Okay, so those are all the stitch alongs that we're in the midst of. And then we have coming up very soon, Spooky Hollow is starting in September. Spooky Hollow is a 12-part series. It's a Halloween series by Little Stitch Girl, and it is so darn cute. It is full of these little Halloween places that fill this town called Spooky Hollow. So you have a place like this bed and breakfast that's called Rest in Peace. You have a coffee house that's called Witch's Brew. You have a gazebo in a park that's called Pumpkin Park. You have a library with a ghost sitting on top reading a book. I mean, it's just adorable. It's an adorable, adorable series. And so it's a 12-part series. It starts in September. Here's the good news. So I had reached out a couple times to the designer, Little Stitch Girl, to see about getting a floss kit for the entire series. Like if she could give me quantities so that I could get a floss kit for the entire series. I think you can only fit 2 of these because the finished size, it's on 14 count Ada. The finished size is 7 by 7, so that'd be 11 by 11. So I think you can fit 2 of them on an 18 by 25 piece. So like every other month you would be getting a piece of fabric. And every month you would be getting a floss kit. And if I felt like a lot of the colors were used kind of throughout, and so it would be more cost effective, and I would feel better as a shop owner making things more cost effective for you guys. So I wanted to see if she could do a series floss kit instead of providing a floss kit and having you pay for a floss kit every month and then having like repeat skeins of floss in the kit. And so she got back to me originally like months ago, and she had only had a few charts done at that time. So it was really hard for her to be able to figure out what a series floss kit would look like because she had only had, I don't even think she had half the charts done. Well, now she only has 2 charts left to do, and she's kind of already got those figured out because they're going to be released here soon. And so she's able to do a series floss kit. She got back to me the other day. She said, I'm working on quantities for you. I will get you quantities for a series floss kit. So as soon as I get that, I will change the pricing in the description online, but that should be significantly cheaper for a monthly total for you. It might be a higher upfront cost, but in the long run, it's going to be much more cost effective because you're not going to have repeat skeins in each month that you end up not needing. So I'm so, so excited about that. I'm so thankful that she got back to me and so thankful that she was willing to try to do that for us and give us 1 floss kit for the whole series that you'll get up front. And then each month after that, you'll just get either just the pattern or the pattern and the cloth. So that's good news. I'm excited about that. So this starts in September. I already placed orders and I cushioned them a little bit. So we might have a few more spots open if people want to join. I mean, I think we have like probably five more spots, 5 or 6 more spots if people are interested in joining us for this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about it. So Spooky Hollow reservation is in the Stitch Along section of the shop if you are interested. Lynn says, my fabric arrived yesterday, but I won't start it for a couple of weeks. Oh, okay. Kim says, oh, what a relief that she got back to you. That's awesome. It was so awesome. I was like, I don't know if she's going to get back to me. And then when she did, and she said, yes, that she just needs to send me the numbers. I was like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. That makes me so happy because I want to try to make things as cost effective as I can for you. And with some series, it doesn't make sense because each month might be so different, but usually they try to keep the same color theme kind of throughout. So a series kit it makes more sense. And so I'm so thankful. Thank you, Jordan. Not that I think you watch, but thank you. And remember, don't forget, I'm really hoping to try to get to 500 subscribers like this month. So don't forget to subscribe if you're watching, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up because that helps other people find us as well. So be sure to give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and help us continue to grow our community. Also starting in September, we have Happy Little Stitcheroos. My girls are chomping at the bit to get started with this. They are so excited. And I'm waiting on cloth, which should come soon. Like there shouldn't be a delay with that. And I'm waiting on a few more patterns. I ordered a stock of patterns and then we have sold enough reservations that I needed to order a little bit more. And I have all the floss, and you guys look at this floss. I mean, it's so pretty. Look at those colors. It's so pretty. So I pretty much have everything, and I'm so glad to not have delays. So as soon as the cloth comes, that shouldn't be a problem, we have everything for Happy Little Stitcheroos for the first quarter. So I'm excited about that. So again, this will last you for the entire quarter. You'll get the charts, you'll get the floss kit, and you'll get the cloth, and that'll last you for the whole quarter. The only thing that I would need to know from some of you, I know some of you signed up, you did a reservation, but that reservation might be for multiple children instead of just one. If you think that you can share the charts, and I think you're going to probably have enough of this, and maybe you'll have enough cloth. I'm not quite sure, but if you feel like you need additional of anything, just be sure that you let me know. So then I can be sure that I have it for you. But I don't know. I haven't done the math to figure out like how many you can get out of each thing. So for multiple people. So if you have multiple people that you're buying for, just let me know if you need anything extra so that I can make sure that I have it in stock. Okay, and then also coming up in November, we have the Shine On Cross Stitch Along. This is done. Oh, Addie says something. She says, oh, did you see the floss? It is so pretty. As we were putting that together, my mom was like, she's so funny. She loves these floss colors. I mean, the cross stitch side of the shop is just right up her alley. So anytime she sees floss, that she just is like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. And so these blues in this kit, she thought were just so pretty. They're like 3 shades of blue that are just beautiful. They're beautiful shades. Sometimes I come across floss and I think I'm going to take that and try to see if they can match that in a paint color and paint a room. I'm not kidding. I might actually do that at some point. So anyway, we have the Shine On Cross Stitch Along, and the response to this, you guys, has been so exciting. Like, I'm kind of surprised with how many people we've had sign up for it. So that is thrilling to me. I cannot wait to stitch. And the more people that we get joining, it makes me more and more excited. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these people. I can't wait to stitch with these people. So this is kind of the schedule. We're going to do November here, December here, and, loosely followed. If you go farther, great. If you don't get that much done, great. But kind of just to give you a rough idea so we can try to keep on track with each other. But this is going to be beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so beautiful. The colors are so happy, and it's just going to be, I can't wait to get it done and hang it on this wall behind me. So Shine On Sampler Cross Stitch Along, there's still reservations open. I have not ordered for this yet. I'll probably need to order towards the end of September, beginning of October. So there's still plenty of time to sign up if you want to join us for that cross stitch along. You'll get cloth, you will get the book that the cross stitch is in, and you will get a floss kit for that stitch. And then we'll stitch it over the course of probably 5-ish months, and then we'll be done with it. And we'll be stitching it at the same time that we're doing the block of the month. So I'm excited about that. Okay, those are the 3 that we have coming up soon. And then I'm going to share with you, so I got a big shipment of stuff yesterday. So my mom was here helping, and we were going through everything. And so I'm going to share with you the stuff that we got, because I know some of you have been looking for some of this stuff, and sometimes I can't remember everybody. I make as many notes as I can, and then I always fear that I have forgotten somebody. So if I announce it on here, hopefully then I'll have everybody kind of up to speed. Sam says I needed to start sooner. She can't wait for the Shine On Cross Stitch Along and the block of the month. I can't wait either. I am seriously excited about November, which is crazy because usually like October, November, December, January, February feels like a crazy time in our house because our quadruplets are born at the end of October. And then 2 weeks later, my littlest has her birthday. And then it's Christmas time. And then it's my birthday. And then my husband and my oldest daughter both have birthdays in February. So it feels like so many things are crunched into those 5 or 6 months that is kind of a crazy time. But I'm super excited for this Shine On stuff. Hey, Elizabeth. Thanks for jumping on. So glad to have you. Okay, so here's some of the new stuff that arrived yesterday. I got some more 14 count Graceful Gray Ada. This one was either sold out or almost sold out. I got a lot of linen replenished. I got a few of 14 count Chalkboard Black. I know some people were asking about that. So I have a few of those back in stock. And then lots of linen here, you guys. And I know that some people were looking for linen, and it took about a month for them to fill this order and send it to me. So first up, we have 32 count linen, white chocolate. This is a very pretty neutral background color. This one might be one of my favorites, although I got a new one that I think is going to be close. This one is called Water Lily. It's 32 count. This is one that Lynn recommended to me, and it is beautiful. This is what I'm doing. You just saw me holding it up for the Christmas list. I'm doing Christmas list on this one. It's kind of a beautiful sage, almost like a sagey green. It's really, really pretty. So Water Lily, 32 count linen is back in stock. I have Icelandic Gray. I can't remember if this was a new one or not, but it's a very kind of pretty lighter gray color. This one is Graceful Gray in 32 count. They're pretty similar, although Icelandic Gray is probably a little bit more beige, and Graceful Gray is more gray. So this is more of like a beige and gray mixed together, and this is more of a gray. And then we have Optical White. So for those of you, some of these like Shine On that Bonnie and Camille are doing for the cross stitch and Stitchville, she's doing a lot of her stitches on white. And so I figured I should have some white cloth. So this is here. And then I'm going to be ordering soon. I think she stitched hers on 25 count white Lugana. And so I'm going to be ordering some of that. I'm out of Lugana right now for those of you who like that, but I am ordering some soon. So I will reorder the mushroom for those of you who like the mushroom Lugana. And I'm going to order some white. And if anybody has other Lugana requests, just let me know and I'd be happy to add it to the order and get that in stock. So we have, this is again 32 count linen optical white. And then this is the one that I decided to try, and it arrived yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really pretty. This one is 32 count linen, and it's called Star Sapphire. That's what it's called. And I wanted to compare it to the water lily. Okay, so water lily is kind of a greenish, sagey color, and Star Sapphire almost feels like it has that green, but it's really more of a blue. It's almost like a very grayish, if possible, it's like a grayish, sagey blue. If that's even possible. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to do, my best to kind of give you guys comparisons of some of these cloths. So this is the water lily and this is the Star Sapphire. So you can tell, there's a difference there. Okay, and then I got some new patterns in the shop. First of all, I replenished all of the ball tip needles are back in stock. So yay. We got those. I told you guys about them. You guys got so excited about it, and they all sold out. And now I have them back in stock. So we have the 28 size, the 26 size, and the 24 size. All sizes are back in stock. And I ordered more this time so that they won't sell out. They shouldn't sell out as quickly. But some of you were looking because you liked the other ones so much that you wanted to order more to have. They're all in stock now. So yay, I love it when stuff comes in that I can get back to you and say, okay, I have it now. It's inevitable that I'm not going to have everything every time that people need it, but I like it so much better when I do have stuff when you need it. Kim says, very pretty colors. I think so too. They're really pretty. I'm excited to have that stuff. And then we got some patterns. My mom ordered this time with me. And she's so funny because I was like, I had to order for Spooky Hollow. So I needed to order those patterns based on the Stitch Along numbers. And then I needed to order some other stuff. And I was like, well, we might as well try to get free shipping. So what else do we want? And Mom was like, can we order Halloween stuff? And I was like, yeah, we can order Halloween stuff. She was like all about Halloween right now. Kelly says, love those needles. Me too. I think I might actually need to add some to my stash because the other needles that I've been using, there must be like a life to them because I've noticed lately that my thread is shredding where you thread the needle, like you thread the needle through the hole and then as you need more, you kind of pull it to lengthen your thread. And that part up there must be, I didn't used to have this problem, but it must get coarse or something. And my, thread keeps shredding and it doesn't make me very happy. Can I ask how these needles are helpful? Okay, yes, you can, Sam. So typically you just have a needle that is a straight needle. Like that's usually what I have always used. And then I had heard about these ball tip needles and people had said how much they loved them. I'm going to see if I can grab one of the. So at the end of the needle, it kind of has a tip that is shaped like a ball. It's got kind of a round end. And the idea behind it is that as you're trying to find the little hole that you put your needle through for cross stitch, sometimes you can get in between the fibers and then your stitches get off. And the idea with this ball tip is that it more easily guides you to the hole and won't go through between the fibers as much as a straight needle would. Sometimes you can get between the fibers and kind of shove that other needle up, but this has a little bit of a ball at the end of it so that it's supposed to kind of guide you more into where the ball will fit more easily, which would be in the hole where your stitch is supposed to go. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. So it's got this little ball tip and it's it says Easy Guide Ball Tip Needle. It was created with cross stitchers and hand embroidery enthusiasts in mind. Each needle features a special mini ball at the tip that helps to navigate through Aida and other linens effortlessly. The ball end easily finds the right spot in your fabric. These needles will help guide every hand stitch you make. So I decided, actually my mom decided to try it first, and she called me either that night or the next day, and she was like, I love these needles. I really, really like these needles, which for my mom is saying something because I grew up stitching with the cheapest needle that you could get. And my mom was kind of the same way, just whatever needle she could get, she'll use, that's just how it was. And so I had been talking to her about this and decided to get some in the shop to try. So she wanted to try it. And she called me and she was saying how much she liked it. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So I got some, bought some, and then started to try it. And I swear to you that my stitches were straighter. Maybe that's true because maybe I wasn't getting into the hole 100% of the time before. I don't know. But as I was doing it, I was like, my gosh, my stitches look better. How is that possible? So I don't use these 100% of the time. Like I just said, I'm still using some of my other needles, although I feel like I want to get some more of these because those other needles are shredding my thread, and I don't like that. So Sam says, appreciate the explanation. You're welcome. And Huckleberry says, how do you know what size to use? I always just grab a sewing needle, any size. So it depends on the size, the count cloth that you're using. For the bigger holes, they have smaller needles. For the bigger holes, they have bigger needles. For the smaller holes, they have smaller needles. So my understanding is for a 24 size needle, you would use for like 14 count Eta. 26 is for like 16 count Eta, and 28 is for 18 count Eta. And I will give you guys a little bit of heads up. We did ordering this week, and I ordered some, I don't know if you guys have seen, I've kind of dragged my feet a little bit about ordering this. I saw it and I was like, I don't know, should I order it? Should I carry it in the shop? I don't know. I can't decide, So I was ordering and my mom was here and I was asking her what she thought about it. I said, take a look at this. What do you think? My mom's been cross stitching for years, so she's often my go-to for, for questions like, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is a legit thing? Do you think that this would be helpful? I don't want to just get stuff to get stuff. So tell me what you think about it. And so she says, Deborah says, wait a second. Do they work out better for specific fabric counts? I've stitched with these needles on 16 count Eta, and I've stitched with them on 32 count linen. And I thought the linen would be harder, and found out that that wasn't the case. I did not have a problem between the two different cloths using these needles. They both worked really well on both. Kelly says she has 3 size needles available. It has helped me a lot. Good. Deborah says these needles are fabulous. My stitches are fantastic. Good. I'm so glad that you guys tried them. Sharon says back in the 80s, they used to say if you use a larger needle, it would open the hole up a little more and there wouldn't be as much drag on the thread, which would help it not look dull as fast. Not sure how well it works though. Yes, that makes sense. That it would help to pull the thread through easier if the hole was a little bit bigger. Huckleberry says makes sense. Thank you. Good. So anyway, to answer the different size and the different counts and all of that, It's So Emma has this thing called a cross stitch key, I think is what it's called. It's a thing. I haven't gotten them yet. They're on order. They should be coming soon. Because again, I asked my mom, I said, what do you think about this? Look at it. And she goes, ooh, I think that could be really helpful. I would love to get one. So yes, why don't you order some? So I ordered a few just to give it a shot and see what we think. But it's a little thing. It's maybe this size, maybe a little bit bigger. And it has like a ruler on it so that it can help you measure in from the side of your stitch. It's a good size to keep in your project bag. It also has an area on there where it tells you what size needle you need for what count fabric. And it also has another area that you can use. It's kind of a template almost that you can use to figure out what count fabric you have. So if you bought fabric a long time ago and you don't have it labeled anymore and you're trying to figure out what count it is so you can figure out your measurements, it has this template on there that you can figure out what count it is. So we got some. They will be in the shop as soon as they arrive. My mom liked the idea. She was kind of the decision maker on that one. And so I'm anxious to get them and see if they're helpful and if people like them and end up buying them. Huckleberry said she saw them. She said, I'm getting that. Oh, good. So you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to, the cross stitch key, it's on my wish list. Oh, good. Okay. So it has some helpful information on there. We're going to give it a try. We'll see how it sells. So that should be coming. Maybe I'll have it by next week. I don't know. Okay, now we have some Halloween charts to share. And my mom, there's one in here that she was like, couldn't stop talking about yesterday. And she kept pulling it out and showing it to my little one. And my little one would get so excited and she was walking around with it. The first one is Halloween Flip It by Lizzie Kate. This is just a cute little one that I thought was cute. And it comes with, so up on the moon up there, there's a bat. That is like a little charm that you sew on. And so the charm is inside the pattern. But it's super, super cute. Be a fun, quick Halloween stitch. Shouldn't take long at all. This is the one that my mom fell in love with. Her and my little one were oohing and awing over this one all day yesterday. It is Halloween Cat, and it's by Les Petits Croix de Lucie. I'm not French, so I can't say that. But it's by a different designer. We've not carried anything by her before, but it's pretty cute. So it's Halloween Cat. This one is by Waxing Moon Designs, and it's called Halloween Cobwebs. And these are all in the shop right now. I got them in there before today so that they would be available. Kim Miller says, oh, that's adorable. Yeah, the cat one, like my mom, this is on her list. She's like, I'm going to get that. This one is super cute too. Halloween Cobwebs, Waxing Moon Designs. And this one I thought was cute. So last time that I ordered something, did I butcher that? So Sam, oh my gosh. Okay, so there are some French people on Instagram. Did I butcher that name? I tried my best. My husband could probably do better than I did, but they're laughing about my attempt to be French. So last time I got the Quilt Shop, if you guys know, Quilt Shop on Christmas Avenue. I can't remember what it was called, but it was by Sarah. I had never carried a design by her before. Well, it popped up again this time that I was attracted to this Halloween stitch, and it's by Sarah again. So look at this. Sam says you did well. You're lying. I'm just kidding. So this one's called Happy Halloween 2, and I thought this was adorable. And then I saw that it was by this same designer named Sarah, and I thought, gosh, that people really liked that Christmas Quilt Shop on Christmas Avenue, or I can't remember what it's called, but people really liked that and thought it was so cute. And I thought that this one was adorable as well. So Happy Halloween 2 by Sarah. And then we have Find Your Way to Halloween by Bent Creek. And this one also has some buttons that are included in the pattern. You can see like here, here, and up here, there are little star buttons. Those are included in the pattern as well. So that one's kind of cute, another small one. And then the last one is called Halloween on the Farm by Kathy Barrick. So this one seemed kind of fun. Pumpkins and farm animals. I would probably choose a different background, but I think it's pretty darn cute. Would be a fun fall decoration. Richard Raquel says, I was just picking on you. Everything you have is great. I know. I am often teased about my attempts to have different accents. Have you ever played the game Heads Up? And so you have to do things in a different accent, and then the other team or your team needs to guess what your accent is. So you speak in a certain way, like maybe the accent is Boston, or sometimes it can be Jamaican or French or Irish, and you have to try to talk in that accent, and then people have to guess what accent you're using. And so every time that I am playing Heads Up and it's my turn to go, people always say, do the accent, so that they can sit there and laugh at me. And then it has a video thing. And so I'm holding the thing up and it has a video thing, and you can see everybody is just rolling. Anytime I try to do an accent, they're rolling on the floor. And they have no idea what accent it is. They're just laughing at me. Like that's the game for them, is for me to attempt to do accents and for them to just laugh. So it's okay. I know that I do not have a good accent and I own it. I don't care. my dad's family from Boston. I can do tons of accents. I'm sure you can. I will continue to do accents, and people might think that they're bad, but that's okay. I don't mind. I want to play that game with you now. It's pretty funny. I'm pure enjoyment for other people. Okay, so that's the new stuff in the shop. Now I'm going to move on to some quilting stuff, and I'm going to start off by telling you guys about the Purl Story. As you have seen, and interestingly enough, I've had people just over the weekend contact me and say, are you carrying Purl? Are you carrying Purl? And so if you remember from a few live streams back, I had said, I want to hear you speak Texan. I couldn't do that with you, Sharon. Oh my gosh. Although every time we chat on the messenger thing, I think I start to sound more Southern just when I'm chatting with you. And then my kids are like, why are you talking like that? I'm like, talking like what? They're like, why are you talking like you're from Texas? I don't know. Because when I talk to Sharon, I feel like I'm from Texas. I've been dying to hear the story. Okay, so Purl. So a few weeks ago, I had said I have been debating about Purl. Like it has been a thorn in my side for months now because I just couldn't decide. I couldn't decide if I should carry it. I felt like if people and customers have even said to me, most people will probably go someplace else to get Lori Holt fabrics. And so maybe it's not a great idea for you to carry it, like I don't want you to lose money. And so maybe it's not a great idea. And I've had the same thoughts. So for Purl, I kind of dragged my feet. And I thought, I don't know, should I do it? Because then on the other hand, I've had customers come to me and say, are you carrying this? Because I would really like to get it from you. And I want to be able to provide that stuff if people want to get it from us. And so I was just going back and forth. Like, I don't know, should I get it? Should I use that budget for something else? I don't know. And so going back and forth, last week, or maybe it was the week before, I was on the phone with Riley Blake Designs working through the Snow Suite stuff. And I was talking with my sales rep, and she said, we were on the phone for like forever talking about this stuff. And then she said to me, oh, and by the way, I have one case of Purl, the complete collection. It's yours if you want it. And I was like, what? Like this completely came out of the blue. Like we hadn't been talking about it. She just kind of snuck that little nugget in there kind of out of the blue. And so I was like, what? Are you serious? And she said, yeah, it's yours if you want it. It hasn't been bought by anybody. It's an extra one. If you're interested, let me know. So I kind of was like, oh my gosh, it's back. I have to make a decision again. Like I had kind of already signed up to the fact I'm not carrying it. And now it's kind of been put in my lap again. And so now I have to decide. So I kept going back and forth again. Then last week after the live stream, so it had been like a week. So it must have been a previous week that I talked to her. It had been like a week. And after the live stream, I couldn't make a decision. I was kind of dragging my feet about it. And then all of a sudden after the live stream, I went and sat down and I sent an email and I said, when would Purl be able to ship to me? And she wrote back and she said, probably next week. Let me know if you are interested. Without even thinking, I responded to her and I said, let's do it. I'm interested. And so she then like a few hours later that night, I said, I feel like it's meant to be. I kind of said no. Then it was put back in my lap again. It's been a crazy busy week. Like, I feel like all of the stars have aligned to have this happen. And I kind of felt like it was supposed to be, like if that makes any sense to people. I just felt like, okay, this has been placed back in my lap for a reason. So I sent her a note and I said, yep, let's just do it. Hours later that night, she sends me a note back and she says, you're right, it was meant to be, because another customer had decided to go ahead and get it, like earlier that day, had decided to go ahead and get it, and then at the last minute decided to back out. So when she went to the warehouse to secure it for me, they were like, oh my gosh, this other person just backed out. It's hers. She can have it. So everything kind of came together in order to make this happen. I have no idea if it's going to go well. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of late to the game because I've not been doing any pre-sales. I've not been doing any reservations for anything. But I also feel like it's a very classic line. And so even if it's just yardage that I have available, I think it's going to be okay. Oh, darn it. I didn't even see what Sam said. That Instagram video ends all the time. So that's the Prim story. So Prim is coming. I actually got shipment notification. It's on its way. It's in transit to me. So it is coming and it should be here. Like if it's not here, I don't know that it'll arrive this week, but it should be here next week. So I now have up on the website reservations for the Prim Sew Along quilt kit, and I have reservations out there for the Prim Village boxed quilt kit. I ordered some of those as well. And then I will have the Prim Sew Simple Shapes, and I will have, you guys ordered some Prim design boards. I kind of haven't done the design board thing, although I love them. I mean, I've used them before, but I haven't done it. But I ordered some of the 10-inch Prim design boards. So Prim is coming. It's happening. Oh, and then I got the book. There's a book, Prim and Proper. That book is coming as well. So Kim says, wow, that's perfect. Elizabeth said, I was so excited to see you in the shop. Oh, good, Elizabeth. Oh, that makes me so happy because I am a little bit stressed about it. Like, maybe it's too late. I don't know. Should you have done it? But I really feel like it was meant to be. I kind of do. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I felt like it was supposed to happen. But now I just hope that it's supposed to sell well. That's what I hope. So that's the Prim story. Okay. Then, I'm not going to go through a ton of the stuff that I have in the shop because you guys know that it's out there. We have the Dear Christmas boxed kit. We have some Hollyberry kits left that are in the box. We have some Dear Christmas fat quarter bundles. We have some Summer Sweet bundles still in the shop. And we have a Boo quilt kit or fat quarter bundle available for Midnight Magic. So I'm not going to go through a ton of that stuff because I want to go into some Snow Sweet stuff and share with you guys some of the stuff I've been working on this week. We also have the Pillow Kit of the Month. I still have some spots in that available. We have the Shine On Block of the Month. I still have some spots in this available, and I would love to sell through all of those spots because I've already ordered the fabric for it. So I'd love to be able to sell those. Sharon says, Angela, have you seen the large deer panel out of the package opened up? It's adorable. I have not. I have not seen it out of the package. I should. You should share pictures. Send me a picture. I've only seen what's in the package. I've never seen it out of the package, but I know it comes on like a polka dot background, right? I've heard that it could be a really cute quilt unto itself, just using that panel, which by the way, I have like a number of those panels left for anybody who's interested in those panels. And then of course we have Vintage Christmas Throwback Sew Along starting in January. And this has been a really popular seller too. Like I'm kind of surprised that throwback idea is something that was maybe a little bit selfish on my part because I missed some of this stuff the first time around. And so I still want to do it. And then when I heard that Cozy Christmas was being discontinued, I thought, well, we need to do it sooner rather than later. But apparently there are other people out there too who missed it the first time around and want to do it. And so I'm very surprised at how many people have signed up for this Sew Along, and I'm super excited about it. So I need to order fabric for this in October. So you have about a month to join us if you want to join us and order your quilt kit for the Vintage Christmas Sew Along. And then remember, everybody who buys a quilt kit from Happy Little Stitch Shop gets entered into a drawing to win free, this is amazing, free custom quilting by Quilting is My Serenity. She does beautiful, beautiful custom work. You are going to end up with a gorgeous, gorgeous quilt by Ren. So Serenity, Quilting is My Serenity is her kind of business name, and her first name is Ren, and she does beautiful work. So you'll be entered into a drawing to win free custom quilting on your vintage quilt. So that's pretty exciting. Then I have Sharon says, when her husband gets home, I will have him hold it up for me. It's huge. Oh my gosh. So Sharon's going to hold it up and she's going to send a picture and then I'll share it with everybody so that you can see. And then I have the end of bolt. This is 1.5 yards of My Happy Place button cards. Super adorable. End of bolt. This is available. If you're interested, message me and I can let you know cost and invoice you for it and all that. Okay, then funny story. So I've been working on this week. I really want to stay on top of this so that I can get it done before, you know, stuff starts happening in November with the Shine On Block of the Month and stuff like that. So I've been working on this and I've had some customers ask some questions. First, my question for you, if people could please help me and my poor hands out. You guys, I've had to cut out, okay, let me just show you this. So I've traced the templates and then I've cut it out, you know, on the fabric. So this is the fabric snowflake, but look at all of these things that have to be cut out. Okay, it's beautiful, but here's my problem. You're not supposed to use your fabric scissors. You're supposed to use a really sharp scissors because you don't want your fabric to fray, but you're not supposed to use your fabric scissors because you're cutting through web, fusible web. So I only have my fabric scissors that are like really good scissors. And little embroidery scissors, which aren't good for cutting fabric. So I don't have another scissors. What do you guys use for this situation? Because it was not pretty. I've done so much cutting. And let me show you. Try not to laugh, but let me show you what I was using. My dad got me these for cutting. I cut a lot of cardboard because I include cardboard anytime I ship patterns to you guys so that the pattern doesn't bend. And so I cut a lot of cardboard and my other scissors was really difficult to cut cardboard with. So my dad got me this other one, which apparently is super sharp because it can cut through anything, including aluminum cans. But this thing is monstrous. So this is the only scissors that I had. And I didn't want to wait because, you know, we don't live close to like fabric stores and stuff. That's why, and I don't want to buy something that I can carry in the shop. You know what I mean? So I started using this monster and my hands were so sore because I just kept cutting. My hands were so sore. So what scissors do you guys use? I need to get some scissors for the shop. And what is a good scissors? My fabric scissors that I typically use is a Ginger. What's it called? Ginger. Yeah, Ginger scissors. I love it. That's my favorite type of fabric scissors. So I'm thinking about getting some of those for the shop. But do you have like another medium-sized scissors that's easy for kind of detailed cutting that you guys use? Yeah, they're huge. Huckleberry, these are gigantic. I mean, yes, it can cut through a tin can. I believe it, but they are not comfortable to use at all. So my hands were in bad shape. Okay, Kathy, week 1 tracing and cutting was huge, and now we have to trace. I know, I saw that. I'm not looking forward to the tracing again. Since I received the kit almost a week after Janet started her sew along, I decided to do mine a week later. This will help me not stress out. I use Karen K Buckley applique scissors. They have a super sharp point tip with soft finger grips. Okay, that's helpful. I will have to look for those. So yes, I have been cutting out all of the pieces. It's coming together very, very nicely. Now, somebody had a question about on the snowman. There are 2, if I can even open this. There are 2 solid lines on your snowman. Okay, I'm not going to show the whole thing. I'm just going to show this. There are 2 solid lines. The outside line is the snowman. The inside line is the edge of the star. So for the star, she doesn't do one whole star behind the snowman to try to avoid having the fabric come through the white of the snowman. So she has 3 separate pieces. So you have this piece right here, and then you cut kind of here. Then you have this piece right here, and then this inside line is the star line. Okay, and then the same thing over here. This inside line is the star line. So I hope that helps, because then the star tucks under the snowman just a little bit to be able to kind of stitch it on there and keep it there. So I hope that that helps. That's the way that I understood it from Janet. That's the way that I'm doing mine. Janet is clearly leading the sew along, so you should follow along. She posted week 2 last night, I think. Her website is greatjoystudio.com. But it's been a lot of fun. And I think, I mean, it's going pretty smoothly so far. And everything that I've seen from other people has, like, you guys are doing well with it as well. So I still have to cut. I haven't cut everything out yet. There's Santa's belt. So I have to finish getting everything cut out, and then I have to do my backgrounds. And then I think I'll be ready for week 2. I'm really not looking forward to tracing everything again. So, but it's all part of the process. My daughter came in, she said, "Can I help you trace?" And before I said, "No, I don't think so. I did a lot of detailed tracing the first time around because I don't know why I did, but I traced all the stitch lines and everything. And so now I need to go back and do that again. Lynn says, EK Success from Hobby Lobby. They are less than $10. They are black and bright yellow handled checks. Hi, Sam. I am so proud of you all for doing that. So I didn't see what you said on the other thing, Sam, whenever Instagram cut off. I missed your message. I don't even remember what I was talking about. But I just wanted to clarify what those 2 lines were, because somebody had asked about that and was a little bit frustrated about not knowing what the 2 solid lines were together. So the outside line is for the snowman. The inside line is the edge of the star. I hope that helps. Okay. I don't know that I have anything else. Oh, let's do a drawing. Okay, so don't forget, for drawings, be sure you follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please be sure you give me a thumbs up. You guys, we got 40 thumbs up last week. That's the most I've ever had. That was so exciting. And I'm really, really hoping to get to 500 sooner rather than later. I don't know how people grow so much so quickly. Like, I feel like I'm growing at a turtle's pace. Oh, she says, just excited to be doing a Lori Holt quilt from our shop. Yes, I'm so excited. And I can't wait to see that little salt box quilt when you do it. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so pretty. Don't you think you have to put that behind the house roof, cake layer, top 1 star? I don't know. I'm not sure that I know what you're asking, Kathy. Sorry. So yeah, that edge of the star just tucks under the snowman. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. Okay, so be sure that you subscribe, like, follow, blah, blah, blah. And then this week, we are giving away this bundle of Snow Sweet fabric. So you get some black, you get some red, this one is probably my favorite. Oh, and by the way, I put all of the Snow Sweet fabric on the website now. So it's all up in the shop. It's all up in the shop. She says, cut iron on interfacing to put behind the white. Yes, yes, yes. Does that answer your question if I just keep saying yes? So yeah, for this white snowflake, for example, so this is the fabric. So I put the fabric down, and then I put the interfacing on top of the fabric, cut a little bit bigger than the template. And then I put the template, let's just say I haven't done this one yet. This is the train. Then you put the template sticky side down. So like the rough side goes down on top of the interfacing. Then you iron it, and then you cut out the template. So yeah, in order to not have and so if you wanted to leave the star whole and just trust that your interfacing is going to be enough to not let that yellow shine through, then I think you have the freedom to do that. I'll probably cut mine into 3 pieces. I'm still going to use the white interfacing for the snowman. but I'm not going to have the yellow, another layer of yellow behind it. But I think if you wanted to do it that way and make it a whole yellow star and just put the snowman on top of it, you could absolutely do that. But yes, for the white fabric or the light colored fabric, especially if it's going to go on a dark background, you're going to want to put the fabric down, put the interfacing, glue side down. Again, there's like a rough side, glue side down on top of the fabric, template, glue side down on top of the interfacing, iron it, and then cut it out. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so we're going to do a drawing for this bundle of Snow Sweet fabric, which is now all in the shop. The winner is Emily Gardner. Congratulations, Emily. You have won the Snow Sweet fabric bundle. Please contact me to claim your prize, and then I will get this in the mail to you right away. And then next week's prize is going to be a cross-stitch chart, and this one is called Snow White Sampler. Sorry about that. Snow White Sampler, and it's by Willow Hill Samplings. Snow White Sampler. It's kind of a pretty one. Look at that. And it says, within a forest dark and deep, love lies waiting fast asleep. The cursed fruit her breath did take, with true love's kiss she shall awake. So very cute. And the question for this week is, what is your favorite type or count of fabric for stitching? Do you like 14 count? Do you like linen? Do you like Lugana? What type and what count of fabric is your favorite to stitch on? That's it, you guys. Please contact me to claim your prize, Emily. Everybody, please remember to subscribe, follow, like, spread the word. Thank you so, so much for being here with me and spending some time with me today. And more importantly, thank you so much for just supporting us, supporting our family, supporting this endeavor, and letting us give this a shot. Thank you so, so much. It means more to us than you will ever imagine. Have a great, great week, and I will see you all here again next week. Thanks so much, you guys. Take care. Happy stitching.